Hey everyone. So, for the most part, this was another mostly chill episode, with majority of it being more of Arthur getting acclimatized to being around his family and learning to live a relatively normal life again, while simultaneously we also have Lilia dealing with a lot of personal drama in her own life. And I will say I do like how these two things kind of contrasted in this episode. And being honest, for as boring and mundane as episodes like this can pretty much seem for some people, they are unironically the kind of episodes that are single-handedly saving this show or keeping it afloat, in my opinion. Like these episodes that combine slice of life with that twist of personal drama are weirdly the ones that are not only kind of the best of this series, even in the webcomic, but they're also the ones that are being but they're also the ones that are adapted the best, and they're weirdly the ones that have the most life to them, even with the subpar art and animation, which in itself, though, I guess is kind of a problem, because if episodes like this are the show's best foot forward, then we do still have a problem, in the sense that even though, again, even though I really like this episode, but the fact that we're seemingly there's seemingly no plans for the initial 24 episodes, or even a core two now, it's it's one of those things that makes me say, so is we're only getting 12 episodes, or did ACAT finally realize that they fucked up and are putting any announcement of a future core or season on pause to go back to the drawing board to try and actually put some effort into production this time? Which, if that is the case, hey, at least they're learning. But again, even that has me saying it's probably too late, because the old saying, first impressions are important, definitely applies in this situation. And as I've pointed out numerous times through comparisons between the webcomic and the anime, you kind of fucked up. You fucked up more than you pretty much succeeded, hey cat. So, if you are delaying the other 12 episodes for these reasons, then if or when the show comes back, they better come back with being absolutely fucking amazing. But again, I'm not holding my breath either, because this has definitely been a learning experience of just how bad ACAT is as a studio are, frankly. But okay, rant over though. Let's talk about the other part of this episode, which is that Arthur takes Lilia under his wing in order to teach her magic at the behest of her parents. And I do like this simply for the fact that it's another moment of Arthur kind of being thrust into a position he would have normally never considered in his previous life. Like the idea of being a teacher, helping those reach their untapped potential. It's from moments like this where he's learning to be more open with others and himself, not keeping himself closed off from the world like he used to when he was king. That in order to be a true leader, you kind of have to be willing to be open and honest with people. Of course, the irony there is he's still keeping the biggest secret of all from his parents, but he's learning that he's learning to be more human than he was in his previous life. And in saying that, this is where the episode does quite a bit of jumping around in terms of how the events of the anime play out versus the webcomic, because in the webcomic, while out in the market, Arthur comes across a key character who's going to play a major part in his story later in the upcoming like 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 school academy, like Magic Academy school academy arc. And this whole episode in a lot of ways was kind of teasing a lot of that. Whereas this episode completely bypasses the meeting with this character by cutting an entire chapter out of adaptation. But the thing is, by cutting out the introduction of this character from this episode, I think I now have a greater idea of how they plan to end these first 12 episodes, however you want to label it, because which will be through I think the last episode is going to have the introduction of this character, because that in itself transitions over into the next arc. That is assuming we don't introduce her next episode, but given the end credits stinger, I imagine episodes 10 and 11 will be focused on the upcoming auction and meeting with the royal family, because that's what that end what that end credit stinger is teasing for you, that, yeah, we're about to meet the royal family. And oh boy, that hooded guy, yeah, he's an asshole, that's all I'll say about it. With that said, this episode does something a little bit strange, which is to say, in the webcomic, when you get introduced to these students as Iris, it's really just a meeting from afar. There's not really any direct confrontation from my recollection. Whereas with this episode, we see a direct confrontation between Arthur and the students while trying to talk Lily out of stealing a Manticore while both of them are going out shopping. Now, this is a moment that for me does feel like somewhat of an improvement from the webcomic for no other reason than it does serve as a bit of a nice build-up to Lily's emotionally exploding at how weak and powerless she feels in front of her parents, whereas the webcomic kind of plays up the moment in the shop for more of a gag by having the focus on the shop owner being more so the one antagonizing them before the mom squad came in and gang up on the shop owner, which, again, granted, the ladder still, the ladder of the mom showing up and ganging up on the kids still happens, but with the switch up of being the students and rather the shop owner now, it feels like there's more of a narrative reason for that scene to happen in the anime. And even beyond Lilia, I do like how this gives a rather interesting insight into just how people with the inability to use magic can feel powerless in a world where it's the norm, and just how that can really mess up with someone psychologically, especially when those people who wield that power use it to antagonize others because they feel like having that power makes them entitled to do so. Like, in some ways it's worse for Lilia because her family is so well known that she does feel like she's like shaming her family name by not being able to wield magic, even if, and again, it's one of those things where even if her parents don't think so, that doesn't matter because she still perceives that handicap as a failure. And the truth is, her parents coddling and attempt to reassure her only made it worse, not better, because they didn't, the thing with her parents that I think really frustrated me in this episode, especially in the webcomic, is that they didn't really even make any attempts to help her, and they just kind of kept coddling her, saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Okay, but actually fucking help her, you nitwits. And for as cruel as it was, I think that this kind of really makes the ruse Arthur and Lydia cooked up, I think, necessary for them to realize that they weren't helping at all this time. They needed to actually try to. They needed to actually do more to try to help her than just use their words. Like it's that classic case of actions are the thing that speak louder than words, and in this case, her parents' lack of actions definitely spoke volumes of like just how useful that they were in the situation. Now, granted, I think part of this is partly that the parents, I think, also felt just as powerless to help her. So it's like, because they didn't know what to do. But I think, like, yeah, just in general, I think that the Healthias could have done more to help Lilia in a lot of ways, but they could have tried at least. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow my Blue Sky, and on this Crunchyroll, be sure to notification bell, subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.